American Craftsman Podcast is proud to partner with Montana Brand Tools. The West was built by people with strength and great pride in their workmanship. It was a necessity that early settlers of Montana have a strong will, a resilient character, and great determination to tame the rugged landscape while adapting to its dramatic climate. That spirit, made in the USA pride and craftsmanship, is alive today, both in how Montana Brand tools are manufactured and how they perform. Montana Brand power tool accessories are manufactured utilizing proprietary, state-of-the-art CNC machining equipment and the highest quality materials available. Montana Brand tools are guaranteed for life to be free of defects in material and workmanship because we build these tools with pride and determination. Montana Brand tools are manufactured by Rocky Mountain Twist, located in Ronan, Montana. Montana Brand's heritage comes from a long line of innovative power tool accessories. Use coupon code American Craftsman for 10% off your order at montanabrandtools.com. Well, feels a little strange down here.
I know.
Down here in the doldrums, that's not even the right word.
In the dungeon?
In the dungeon of my basement.
Yeah, with Studio B coming at you live.
Yeah, Hollywood, New Jersey.
Leonardo, really.
Yeah. If you're watching, you can see quite a difference in the, there goes the email, quite a difference in the set, we'll call it.
Yeah, this is our set.
This is the new podcasting location.
Yeah, we're moving on up because we moved out of the shop, which is really a huge benefit. We don't have to, break down every day and set up and clean up and all that other stuff.
Mitigate dust with the equipment and everything. Mm-hmm. So, although it may not look as much like a wood shop, it's certainly more comfortable for us.
Yeah, we went out, we got these chairs.
Yeah.
So if we nod off during the podcast, you'll know why, because we got these comfy lazy boys we're sitting in now.
Yeah, don't take offense, not you guys. Well, I guess let's get into it so we don't overthink this the new digs here. See, we have a fine cooler.
We're going to start it off with the beer of the week like we always do.
That's right. So this week we have from McKellar, West Coast style India Pale Ale.
Nice.
Yeah, I like McKellar.
What's the difference between a West Coast and an East Coast?
I think East Coast is usually a little more sweet. West Coast is a little more dry. Ingredients: water, barley, malt, hops, and yeast. The 4 ingredients to beer.
I see it comes from San Diego.
Yeah, McKellar is a Danish brewer, I believe.
Cool. Oh, there's some sound effects there. Yeah. There's a fly in the studio. You almost got him?
Yeah, there's a big fat fly flying around. Because this is my basement after all. This is an exceptionally clear beer.
Yeah.
And very light in color. I guess maybe my fridge isn't the coldest up there. Hence the new fridge coming next week.
Yeah, you really are moving up in the world.
Yeah.
Got your own basement?
The bar has been set pretty low.
Listen, we're working class dudes. What can we do?
We did get these snazzy new mic stands, though.
Yeah.
Well, looks like we're having some foam
issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to let mine settle a little bit.
Well, I might as well get into the tool of the week.
Yeah, there you go. That's one way to keep things moving.
So this week, have the Knipex Cobra pliers. See if I can get
those.
These are the 12-inch, made in Germany.
Yeah.
And self-locking, so they have a little button here that you push, and there's a a bunch of different teeth, so you can lock into incremental positions about every 16th of an inch.
It's like the Cadillac of what would you call those pliers? Like channel locks?
Yeah, I think they call them slip joint pliers. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, I grew up calling them
channel locks is what we always call
yeah.
them. Even these, say, hey, grab the channel locks.
Right. But those things are another level up the chain.
Yeah, these are nice. So the beauty of these is that, you can put the top half on whatever you're working on, and then just slide the bottom up, and you get a because there's so much adjustment. You always get a good purchase on the handle. Sometimes with the channel locks, you end up with the handle being way open.
Yeah. There's only like 6 slots there.
Yeah, so I like them for that, and just a nice tool. Even as woodworkers, we always keep a pair of channel locks around, adjustable wrenches, that kind of stuff. So good for the shop, good for installs in case you need to do something with plumbing. Yeah,
that happens quite a bit, actually, more than we'd like.
Yeah, I like the 12-inch version.
Right. I have an I Love Lucy story that goes like that.
Oh, yeah?
Doing a kitchen install, and the plumber, he left the stubs where the sink base was going, but he only left like the little plastic caps on there that were sort of like just friction fit.
Oh, Lord.
And it was holding the water pressure back. And now me and my helper, who happened to be John Vitolo on that job, we're in the house alone. It's an old house. And so we're wrangling the kitchen base into its spot, and we knocked off the plastic cap, and water comes shooting out like an I Love Lucy episode straight into the room. So I put my hand over it.
Oh, that's going to help.
And water's spraying out now. I tell John, run down to the basement and, find the shutoff. Of course, he goes down to the basement. It's like, it looks like one of those American Pickers episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff piled everywhere. Can't find anything. Water's still streaming out into the house. Eventually, I stretched myself out. I grabbed the plastic cap and shoved it back on there, and it held.
That's why you use, copper stub outs with sweated caps.
Yeah. So, not that those pliers would have helped in that instance, but
those you probably could have squeezed the pipe shut.
That's right. Yeah, those have that sort of diamond, half diamond shape on them. Those are good for grabbing round pieces.
Yeah. Yeah, they're heavy duty.
Yeah.
And the grip is that channel lock grip, excuse me. Surprise, these chairs got a squeak to them.
Yeah.
The blue channel locks are they're slippery, the grips. They're not.
I think your chair squeaks more than mine.
You hear that? You hear that squeak?
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, don't pull on the mic stand. The table will fall over.
It's different, really. We're used to facing each other more. Now we're kind of sitting side by side.
Yeah. And used to being in the shop, not my house.
Yeah.
Oh, the grip. Yeah, the grip on these is nice. It's nice and tacky. Even if it's wet or sort of oily, it has some texture to it, where the channel lock ones are kind of just super slick. I think I have enough
got enough room over
beer
here
in here now.
Let's toast.
Cheers.
Cheers. There we go. There's the clink to Studio B.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's different. That is different. I like it.
See if I can hold the can up here.
What do you think of their labeling? Oh, I get it. Burst. It's like a pop bubble of bubble gum.
Yeah, I just saw that burst. I like the McKellar, like the look of all the...
Yeah.
Man, I have to grease this chair up. Maybe it's just getting broken in.
Do we look like a couple of slouches in our lazy boys?
Yeah. Wait till I put the leg out.
Yeah. I was wondering if we were going to be allowed to put our feet on the table.
I think it's going to take up the whole foreground.
Yeah, because the angle of the camera,
Yep.
everything looks, it's like the message in your rearview mirror, objects appear closer. Oh, man. Right, because even our knees appear closer than our heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, these chairs are pretty long, too.
Yeah. So should we get into it? First question of the week?
I think we might as well.
All right, I'll read it. How important are goals to your shop?
You're going to have to move your mic there a little bit.
Oh, all right, here we go. How important are goals to your shop? And do they have to be big goals? That comes from our buddy Lou at Alvarez Woodworking.
Yeah, speaking of Lou and Manny stopped by on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good time, reminiscing. We all used to work together, so it was good to see those guys. Goals are very important. You have to set goals, and even small goals like daily goals and long-term goals, because things don't just sort of manifest on their own.
That's true.
So if you have something to work towards, it's always, I think, easier to achieve that.
Yeah. I mean, even if it's just a daily goal for the job that we're working on, and sometimes we just come up with those goals in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would we like to accomplish today?
Right.
And then, of course, we have a more long-term. We're not really like too long-term thinkers, although
no,
we did play lottery today.
That's right. That's Friday. That's pretty long-term.
So we come up with 100 million. We might have to.
We'll never see you guys again. No, I'm just kidding.
We're the kind of people we'd be here in the basement next Wednesday.
Oh, yeah. And Monday and Tuesday. We just do the podcast full time.
That's right. We might have a bigger set, though.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Now, this new set, it looked really big when we were laying it all out, right?
Yeah.
And then we carried the chairs downstairs.
And then it was full. You could see we're like way off of the wall because of just the whole. I mean, it was tough. It was tough to jam everything in here. And if we have a guest, we're gonna have to figure out.
Yeah, they'll have to sit on a milk crate
or this cooler.
Yeah, you got to have goals. I think it sounds maybe a little intimidating to people who feel like they want to, be more of a free spirit and that sort of thing. But, we pretty much fly by the seat of our pants for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, to some degree.
Right. Well, compared to a structured 9-to-5 type of existence, but we get in at the same time every day, and we put in our 8 hours and all that stuff. But we don't really have, everything buttoned up to the nth degree. We're workers, so we don't really need to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we don't have financial strategists, talking about 5 years from now they're going to be here. No, I mean, in that sense, no, we do fly by the seat of our pants, but
we play lottery.
Yeah. Wish us luck.
Yeah. Well, there'll be a little slice of pie for all our friends.
You can do what you want with your half.
You gotta dole out a little bit, This is the way I always figured. If I won big on the lottery, I'd give it out all at the beginning with the caveat. It's like, this is what you're getting. No phone calls, no sob stories, no letters. If you want to go to Atlantic City and blow it all, that's up to you. But here's what you're getting from my lottery winnings.
I'm not giving anybody anything. Maybe some family.
Yeah.
Some very close friends. But that's it.
My friends are more likely to get it than my family.
Well, yeah. This is an interesting question, this next one. This is from CT Vader, 1977 on Instagram.
I like that.
I did have your name at one point, but it got lost somewhere up there in my brain. Any tips for how to joint a board without a joiner?
Well, I remember back in the olden days, when I started, I only had a little 6-inch joiner, and those things probably have like a 4-foot bed.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
And I had to joint these big boards, and I tried the router method, where
With a straight edge?
Yeah. And I wasn't really happy with the result. And did you ever try the method where it's going to sound really crazy? I don't remember where I read it. And I've tried it for about 6 inches of two boards before I realized I wasn't going to make it work, where you joint both boards at the same time so that they'll definitely fit together.
What are we talking about?
Just skip it.
We're talking about how to join a board without a joiner.
Yeah. I meant with the router.
Oh.
Yeah. I can't remember where I read it, but it was something where you would joint both boards at the same time, and they would make a mirror image of one another. And they would definitely fit together in case there were some discrepancies. But either I didn't understand the article, or it's not a viable method.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it would work.
But I just did like the front of a pair of boards, and I said, this isn't going to work.
Yeah, because a mirror image doesn't mean that they're going to fit together.
Right. Well, you know how like
if it's concave and
yeah.
Yeah, I've never even thought about using a router to joint a board.
Yeah, I think that's like a lot of those like beginner, when you only have like a handsaw kind of tips and things like
I
that.
would just use a table saw.
Yeah, and like we did, what's his name, used the track saw that time.
Yeah, so I'd say if you have a track saw, use that. If not, just use the table saw. Get a piece of plywood that's straight and clamp or screw the piece of wood to it and run it through the table saw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen that done too.
You just use that as a straight edge.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there any other tool that might be used? I mean, we're not
a joiner.
Yeah, we're not going to ask about like a joiner plane or anything like that. A hand plane with a fence on it.
Even that is,
it's hard not to get those little hairline gaps.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could do like a spring joint where the center's a little bit hollow.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, there really is no substitute for a joiner. I think the table saw is going to be your best bet.
Yeah. You never heard of somebody trying it with a router? Yeah, that was...
Sounds like way more work than just using the table saw.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it is. I don't know. That was some of the bad advice I got when I was starting out.
You have to have an awfully clean and straight edge.
Yes.
And a very sharp bit. Otherwise, any little...
Yeah, this article probably recommends you use the factory edge from a piece of plywood or something like that, too. So you could probably see the quality that you're going to...
Yeah, that's like a ton of setup and work holding, and then you got to worry about not tipping the router.
Yeah, that's the problem I had, because, you're sort of inexperienced to begin with, and then you're trying to use this method that's not really a great method, so you're compounding all of those things. You're destined for some failure there. So what's our recommendation?
I recommend the table saw.
Yeah, I recommend buying a jointer.
Well, yeah. Or just, try and buy a straight piece.
Yeah, a table saw with a really nice sharp blade on it. They sell those blades, and they call them like glue line rips, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You want to read the next one while I take a little drink of beer here?
Yeah, sure. Got this one from Hey Good Hardwoods on Instagram. What's been the hardest skill for you to learn, and what's something new you want to learn?
Well, up to this point, I'm going to say it's the shaper because I haven't really learned it yet. It's more overcoming the fear of that giant spinning sharp mass.
Yeah.
It's once you have that like nice contact with the cutter and you can feel it, but it's that inching up on it where you're not quite sure what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that's my next, tool to, I won't use the word master, but just become proficient with and over, like, the way we are with all the other tools.
Yeah.
We know what we're doing. We have confidence. That's what I'd like to feel.
So that's what you want to learn.
Yeah.
What's been the hardest? The shaper as well, you're saying?
Well, I haven't really had much time on the shaper yet. What was probably the hardest was to learn how to joint well, because there's some finesse in jointing, like a twist out of the face of a board. You have to, with nobody to teach you why the board just keeps getting thinner and thinner.
Mm-hmm.
You have to figure out all these things about where you should keep your pressure and things like that. So that was probably the hardest.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I've never had a hard time with anything.
Yeah, you're a natural.
I'm just kidding. I have a hard time
like
with
that Redford character.
I have a hard time with a lot of things. I mean, I'd say design is definitely something I have trouble with. It's hard to sort of think outside of the box and come up with things that are unique. You know what I mean? And I think that's definitely something I want to learn too. So I'll lump that into both.
All right. Yeah, and I think for both of us, it just takes experience. Time behind the wheel is what really gets those skills sharpened up. That was a good question. So I'm going to ask this next question. I'm looking and I'm reading ahead a little bit. There's kind of two questions that are similar. It's from Connor at Fallen Oak Custom on Instagram. Where do you guys personally draw the line for woodworker? Does it start or stop at any certain point in your opinion? If so, where? Oh, side question below.
It's a two-parter.
So did that make sense the way I read it? Where do you guys personally draw the line for woodworker? Does he mean like what you're doing in the shop and stuff like that? Like, or if you're pouring fiberglass into molds, are you a woodworker? Or if you're a CNC guy, are you a woodworker?
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe you could read the second part and that may clarify it a bit.
So, do you consider guys who make start to finish furniture pieces using only power equipment woodworkers? I feel like there's a muddling line now between furniture maker and woodworker. Again, it's from Connor, Fallen Oak Custom on Instagram.
I'm not really good with all these labels. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and we don't want to be the self-appointed authority on all this stuff, but they're asking for our opinion. So
yeah, like I don't know if I classify myself as a woodworker or furniture maker. I tend to say furniture maker, but I think furniture makers are woodworkers.
Well, unless you were in another medium like steel or fiberglass or something like that.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're making wood furniture.
Yeah.
So, I'd say most furniture has at least some wood in it. It's like you said, it's a very muddled line. It's hard to answer.
Yeah. You want me to take a stab at it?
Yeah.
Well, because this will come up when you're trying to identify yourself and feel some pride in what you do and what you've accomplished. And when somebody introduces you as a carpenter or something like that, you want to say, no, I'm not a carpenter or I'm not a...
Oh,
this.
yeah.
And I say, well, what do you do? Like if people ask me what I do, I say, well, I design and build custom furniture.
Mm-hmm.
Basically have a wood shop. We really can't label ourselves with, a simple one word title because, we wear so many hats, and also because you really have to include the design element for us, because that's such an integral and big part of what we do here at Greene Street. But if we're talking about other people, I would say that I think there should be, not should be, but for me, there is a defining line, only in the respect to how I feel about myself. Like right. I want to have somebody have a little bit of respect for what I do, because it's, I think it deserves it, as all vocations, and in general, the trades probably don't get as much respect as, they've earned. People who work hard at their craft and do a good job. So I'd like to have some clear understanding between folks who do what we do at the level we do it and the time and energy we've committed to it, and then somebody who's, nailing together an Adirondack chair out of a pallet.
Right. Yeah, to me, the line is a definitive thing.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying I don't.
Well, you're probably right then. There is no...
It's hard. It's nearly impossible to define, like, what we...
Because you don't get a certificate or a degree when you complete a course of study. Like,
it's like really like a case-by-case basis.
Right.
Like some people, who are doing the same thing, one could be a woodworker and one's not, even though they're doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It has a lot to do with just the particulars of the situation,
Yeah. So what do we say? Guys, we don't really consider people who just make start-to-finish furniture pieces only as woodworkers. You have to use power tools in today's day and age for the most part to make a living.
Yeah. Yeah, like I wouldn't say woodworker is only people who use hand tools only.
Right.
Because that's like basically no one. Right. And it's mostly hobby people,
Right. And I think that's another point to differentiate ourselves from others too, because we don't have the luxury of spending 1,000 hours perfecting a piece.
Yeah, there's only, maybe a few dozen people in the whole U.S. who can spend that amount of time and get paid for it.
Right. We have to, balance, our craft with the idea of making a living. I say the idea of making a living.
Mm-hmm. It's certainly a challenge sometimes. So yeah, Connor. Sorry we didn't have a more definitive answer for you, but that's a tough one.
Yeah, does it start or stop at a certain point? It's a little. It is. He's on the money. It's a murky situation.
Yeah, like you give me like a what do they call it when they do like a lineup of suspects? Just a lineup. Yeah. Give me a lineup of people I could tell you yes, no, yeah, but can't put a definition on it.
Right, because it's a moving line, isn't it?
I don't like. I can't put my head back because of the brim of my hat.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
It's going to take a little while to get used to this new setup.
Yeah, I'm certainly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Not in the comfort sense.
No.
Just in the...
Well, yeah, because we got to turn our heads a different way.
Yeah, it's I feel like a fish out of water.
We used to have that big table, Mm-hmm. The table's a comfortable setup. You got your arms on it. Yeah, you can lean back. You can lean in.
We'd have to do
We're a little vulnerable here.
I don't know. You want to stare at the bottom of my shoes? That's not so bad.
No.
You have to deal with it. We're still doing, trying to figure out how to talk into these mics.
Yep. Don't pull that over.
I'm trying.
You'll be in big trouble.
The problem with this is now I really want to lean back and I can't. Let me try this out. Yeah, look, I'm going to lift up the
table. Can you become more uncomfortable?
It's certainly happening. What do we got here next? We got a repeat offender here, Brian from St. John Woodworks. Is there a machine or tool you don't have right now that's on your wish list?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's plenty.
Yeah, I mean, always.
You know, to work inside the shop, we'd have to have a bigger shop to like really get all the machines we want.
Yeah.
But you know, the thing I really want and one day hope to have is a forklift.
Yeah.
More like like a Bobcat that has a bucket and forks. That's my dream.
What are you going to use the bucket for?
Well, the bucket's for fun, just driving around. It's great. Yeah, clean up the driveway and stuff like that. Because, with the gravel driveway, the rain, you get ruts and can move snow around in the wintertime.
That's true with the snow.
And I could...
You'd have no rocks left, though, after that.
No. You got to leave a little skim coat of the snow. And then if I had wheels, I could drive it down, Leonardville Road to your house.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing. You have a Bobcat, then all of a sudden you fixed everything, and then you don't have anything to use it for anymore.
I know. But so I'd just be drive to the store.
Oh, my God.
Couldn't you just see me driving that thing around?
You'd be locked up. You'd be better off with a quad.
If a quad could lift up a pallet, I'd get one.
Yeah.
But for those few times a year where we could really use a forklift, I mean, that's the problem. We don't really need a forklift on a consistent basis. No. So it's probably more trouble to store it and maintain it than it's worth. But I just want it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that logic.
Yeah.
I'd like one, too.
It's that logic.
Well, again, it's a muddled definition.
Well, I'm starting to slouch in my chair already.
Yeah, it's not going to end well. Machine or tool?
Oh.
It's such a long list.
I know.
Machine, I mean, I still really want to find a line boring head for that Ganymet.
Yeah.
And I'd like a stand up pocket hole machine.
Yeah. We might even be able to find a space for that.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's like a 18 by 18 kind of deal or something like that. And just having it set up all the time, you just run over, click the foot.
Right.
Dino's got the one with the foot switch.
Yeah.
So you don't even have the one with the handle is nice too, the castle and the Porter cable, but to have a foot switch would be nice.
Yeah.
Then
no, we use it all the time.
Yeah. And the pocket holes are just the mortise is way better than a Craig. The Craig pocket hole sucks.
Straight in like that.
Yeah, it has a more shallow angle. So you get less movement in the boards.
Yeah,
I think that would serve the shop well.
I mean, if we saw one of those come up at an auction, I'd be interested in bidding on that.
We made some space in the back corner of the shop there.
Yeah,
there
used to be some
a pile of wood.
Yeah, a pile of wood,
pile of dead wood.
Yeah, it was taking up room. wasn't adding anything.
Yeah.
No value added, as they say.
It's bringing down the whole vibe. And don't ask me to get coffee.
Did you know that those... Oh, man. So, is there a project that you've both worked on or individually worked on? Is there a project that you've both worked on or individually worked on that just never sat right with you? Something you wish you did differently? That's from Manny, one of our patrons, also known as Too Manny Mistakes on Instagram.
And our good friend.
Gonna go the most recent example.
Yeah, Manny. Every single job at Tom's shop.
You have sleepless nights?
Not anymore.
Yeah. Not everyone. You did that curved hood and you were pretty well pleased with the way that came out, given your circumstances.
Yeah.
Because you had to take it all in context over there.
Yeah.
You got your hands tied.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I'm not satisfied with 99.99% of the work I've done because, I'm a perfectionist. So if it's not perfect, I'm not satisfied. And perfection rarely happens. So it's a tough way to try and judge your own work, but you know,
it never happens. I mean, sometimes, like I would say, if we just go to the job, one of the more recent ones we did, like the job that we did in Easton.
Mm-hmm.
Now that job came out pretty much the way we planned it. It went pretty smoothly.
Yep.
But still looking at it, there were and building it out, there were things I would have liked to done differently. As I'm building, I'm like, maybe these should have been like 2 3/4 inches instead of 3.5 inches. You're always looking at it sideways.
Yeah, it's hard to get perfection on a one-time build, you know what I mean?
Right, because you only have one shot.
Yeah, you have to build it and then tweak it. So if you have one shot to do it, it's, you know.
And
you may try and incorporate those things into the next job, but.
And sometimes it doesn't look, even though we're drawing in 3D and we have those nice programs, it's sometimes in real life, it doesn't quite look the same. I kind of got that feeling a little bit myself with that job, even though, like, for all intents and purposes, that job went really smoothly and went in. But like you know, we're our own worst critics.
Yeah.
And you don't say anything, but you're just looking at it and you're going,
I wish I could change this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
whining to myself.
I think if you look at the thing and don't have any critiques, then you probably got something wrong with you.
Yeah. Well, that's,
you know, like,
you'd have to ask somebody else.
Yeah.
Luckily, we're both the same that way, you know.
I know Manny's like that too.
Yes, he is. Manny's his own worst critic.
You're too hard on yourself, Manny.
We're big fans of Manny, actually. He's a talented dude.
Oh, absolutely.
So he said, so is the question is there? And the answer is yes.
That's a long list.
You want to read the next one?
Yeah, going from our buddy Matt, IKAG Viz. I know a guy, Viz, on Instagram.
Yeah, I like that name.
What features were most important when selecting the power feeder?
Oh, well, number one was a non-Oliver.
Yeah. Yep.
We did.
Because we started to bark up that tree and then quickly turned around.
Yeah, that went south in a hurry, and we just didn't want to sink any more money into that particular company.
Yeah, no. Yeah, they don't deserve a dime of our money.
We
did get some of our money back today, it seems.
Yeah.
Let me see. I got 2 emails here.
They treated us kind of poorly for the amount of, effort we put into them and the patience we showed with them.
Yep.
So they had offered us, a fairly good deal as far as price is concerned on a power feeder, but we didn't. Well, yeah, I mean, it was less than retail, we'll call it.
Yeah, but it's yeah.
Well,
but the retail price is very high.
We went with a tried and true European maker.
Yeah. So I'd say the most important features were single phase, 1 horsepower, 4 roller, and 8 speed.
And that's exactly what we got with the
Steph. It was a Steph, made in Italy by Maggi.
Gotta love those Italians.
Yeah, they make a good power feeder.
Yeah.
The Maggis were around for a long time. The what's that green one? Shit. Maybe those were Maggis. I forget, but there's an older, I mean, they probably still make them, but a company that used to make these green power feeders. It was an Italian company. Even like the Holzers and stuff, I think, were made in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And even some of the American brands were like don't quote me on this, but I think maybe some of the Deltas used to be made in Italy.
Yeah.
I don't know. They got a thing with power feeders.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you have a factory set up for it, like basically all the Taiwanese stuff, all those Taiwanese machines are coming out of the same factory with a different paint job.
Yeah. unfortunately.
So, I think you pretty much nailed that one. You talked about the specifics.
Yeah.
I like the way it looks, too.
It does look nice.
It's got...
Ours did come with a severe blemish on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got a 10%.
What is it with us and tools?
10% refund coming, apparently. So we can replace it or give you 10%.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to cost us money to set it back up.
Yeah,
So
I know.
just give us a refund, 10%,
Oh.
$150.
Now, Matt, he's big on big machines and feeders and everything, so he knows his business.
Matt's got more machinery packed into a 2-car garage than we have in the whole shop.
Yep.
He's got a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, he knows his power feeder business.
Yep. Yeah, it took a lot of recommendations from Matt and Tyler T. Ernsberger on Instagram. And a bunch of guys I'm in a group with. Freddie, Justin, Tim, Chris, all those guys.
Yeah.
They all spoke highly of this stuff.
And we're not disappointed.
No, I mean, we haven't really used it a whole lot, but
yeah, we're novices in this department, but it's still
using a power feeder on a shaper is a little more involved than a table. I've only really used it on a table saw, which is just freaking stick the board in there and it's gonna feed through.
Yeah, no problems there.
I got one from our buddy Alex here.
All right, read on.
I'm planning a new outfeed table for my table saw, and we'll have several drawers for storage. What are your ultimate go-to drawer slides? They can be side mount or under mount. What's your top 3 in the drawer slide department? From Alex Mitchell, 84 on Instagram. Alex sent us the beer from Tennessee way back.
And the Goo Goo clusters.
Episode 19 or 15, something like that.
Yeah. I really enjoyed those.
T-shirt that's, I got no sleeves now. It's...
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Oh, well, live and learn. So, we really only use one. I mean, we have experience with several lesser, we'll call them, slides in our days working elsewhere, but we like the blooms. Or if you say blum.
Don't say blum.
I say bloom. Is that how they say it over there in Germany? Bloom? Austria?
Yeah.
I think if you
it's pronounced bloom.
Good. So, yeah, we like the blooms.
Bloom tandems.
Yeah.
Which are actually made in the U.S.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, in North Carolina.
And for the longest time, I used those 71-cent clips in the front. I was, I never felt the need for the more expensive, fancier clips, but I was converted. I'm not so stuck.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's a kitchen and there's 25 drawers, and so that's 50 clips, was it $100?
Yeah, I mean, there's $2 difference.
And that's the 3D. There's 4 levels of clip.
Yeah.
I just like the ease of adjustment.
Yeah.
Just in case. Yeah, shit happens. They put silverware in there and the drawer sags. You can crank it up a little bit or crank it to the side, in and out.
Yeah. For those that might not know or be familiar with what we're talking about, the Bloom undermount slides, like all of the copycats, they have these little fixtures that hook to the front of the drawer.
Yep.
And they hook into the sliding mechanism, and that's how you release the drawer so you can take the box out. And in the basic model, there's really not much adjustability in it.
Just up and down.
Yeah, and we always do frame inset.
Yep.
So, you know
how that could be tricky.
Yeah. we like to go anywhere between an 1/8 and a 16th gap around. Yep. And so, I mean, that's what we're used to. So that's really not a thing for us. We don't really need the adjustability for that. But what Jeff's talking about is kind of future-proofing these things.
Right.
So when the drawer slide is weighed down with 100 pounds in it, or it's reaching its maximum, maybe it's rubbing on the bottom, or people are abusing it and slamming it.
Or the wood moves
Yeah,
and it starts to, it moves. Everything moved up because the screws were towards the bottom. You can bring it down.
Or the house settles.
Yeah.
I mean, all these things happen. The fancier clips have all these ways to adjust the drawer face, the front edge of the box. So they're worth the extra $2.
Yeah. And I don't even think it's that much. They might even be less than $2 a piece.
Yeah.
Damn fly.
So, I mean, I can't even think of another drawer slide that I would recommend. I haven't used them all for sure.
No. I'd say, the Bloom Tandems or the Moventos. The Movento's just like a nicer version of the Tandem, but the Movento allows for like a touch.
That's right.
Touch to open, not a servo drive, but like a push. What would you call that? It's like a touch latch.
Push to open, yeah.
So you can add that on to the Moventos, and I think they have the Moventos maybe come out even more.
Yeah.
Are the Tandems full extension or are they 3/4 extension?
I think they're full extension.
Yeah, the Moventos, I don't know. I feel like they come out more or something.
That's possible.
They have 3 segments, I think, instead of 2. But again, we use the Tandem so much that we have some Moventos floating around the shop.
Yeah.
We bought them for something, but the Moventos only come in 5/8.
Right. We use 3/4 inch material for our drawer boxes.
We've used the Hedich. We've used the Gross, Solici, Accuride. I think Bloom Tandem is the best bang for your buck.
Right. And most of our exposure with those other brands has been
involuntary.
It's been involuntary, and it's also been on their cheaper version of that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure they all make a better version than the one we've
King
had
Slide
to use.
is another one. I'm trying to think of the other brands. There's another. I think Sugatsuni makes some side mounts.
Yeah.
Do they make under mounts?
I don't know. I never used them if they do. I mean, the thing with the Bloom clips, the part that clips in is metal, so it's a metal on metal connection.
Yeah. I think only those Hediches that we were using were
totally plastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those things were crap. So, and side mounts like with the ball bearings and stuff, I would consider them sort of like the cassette tape of the slide. I mean, they're something better now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see any reason to use a cassette
But
tape.
it's cheaper.
Yeah, it is a little bit. It is a little bit cheaper. But use at your own peril.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say.
So yeah, sorry there, Alex. We don't have 3. We have 3 options for
We
you.
got one. Go get them.
Yeah, Bloom Tandems.
Yeah.
And they're very easy to use.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, some people aren't really familiar with the installation methods, and I think that maybe puts a few people off. They don't want to make that transition,
Mm-hmm.
but it's pretty simple, and the math to figure out like the drawer size and all that stuff is pretty straightforward.
It's no more difficult than side mounts. It's just different.
Yeah, just a different couple of fractions.
Yep. We got another one here
All
from
right.
Manny. Manny's always got good questions. What are you guys looking forward to as far as innovations or new products that you would like to see?
You got anything off the top of your head?
We were talking about this the other day, the idea of some American-made machines.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if somebody like, let's say Powermatic was to just open a factory in Tennessee and sell the machines for a little bit more and, have all the parts made in the U.S. and the, the whole thing, soup to nuts, made in the USA, and, charge more. It could be the same design.
Right.
But just made in the USA.
Right.
I think people would be receptive to paying, for that. I
So-
know we would.
Yeah, they wouldn't have to make any investment in like redesigning the tooling or anything like that. They could basically use the same machinery they're using over there in Taiwan.
Yep.
Just set up a factory in Tennessee or whatever state they choose. They're still headquartered there, correct?
Yeah. I just figured that's the most obvious.
Yeah.
It'd be strange if they picked somewhere else.
And employ local folks, pay a decent wage, and see what the end result was. It's a big risk. They'd have to, purchase the building and set it all up, and then they're going to say, all right, here you go, Jeff and Rob. We just sold you 2 machines. Now, how are we going to, sell the other how many thousands of machines we need to break even?
I mean, it'd be like a boutique kind of, the same way with like amplifiers and guitars. Like, most of the Fenders are made in China or Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico is the big place now.
But they have the custom shop the custom shop. But it's really just the stuff that's made in the USA.
It's the same exact product, just made in the U.S.
Yeah, with maybe slightly better materials.
Yeah. They always got to stick something in there too.
Yeah, it's the same kind of idea. Like maybe they only make 500 table saws a year.
Mm-hmm.
You hear my son running around upstairs.
Yeah. I would love to see it, even as an experiment. I would love to see what the response would be. I'm just so curious.
Yep.
Because we kind of we wear these 1620 pants, and that's sort of like the clothing equivalent of what we're talking about. All the fabric is made in America, and the pants are assembled and everything in America, even the zippers. So it's 100% American made. And we've gotten into it, not heated, but we've gotten into it with people who say that they're a ripoff and things like that because...
Yeah, I don't know if we talked about that on a regular episode or maybe the Patreon. I forget.
But, because people look at the price and they say, they got some nerve charging $128 for a pair of shorts or $200 for a pair of pants or something like that. And I would guess that whoever says something like that never tried to run a small business on their own.
Right.
And doesn't really understand the cost of what it takes, to put together a quality product that's not...
Even just an equivalent product.
Right. Reliant on, all this super cheap overseas discounting.
Yeah, the labor's cheaper and the material's cheaper.
Yeah.
So...
imagine how cheap it is to make a pair of pants in China that they can sell it for a third of the price, even after it travels, halfway around the world through how many middlemen for transportation and all this other stuff.
Everybody down the line is making money. They got the company that makes the buttons, company that makes the zippers, company that makes the thread that they sew it with, that make the fabric, and then the person making the raw materials. Yeah, the shippers. Yeah, it was interesting when that whole thing came out with the Suez Canal when the ship got caught in there. Yeah, and I was watching something on TV. Did you know that an average toll to go through the Suez Canal is $1 million? Yeah. So that was a cost I never even realized. Yeah, it's insane. So, and then it's still, think about buying jeans at Walmart or something. Right. What does that cost? $8.99, $20. That's unbelievable. Yeah. What are they making them for 20 cents? Probably less, to be honest. Whew. Unbelievable. Yeah. Gets the blood flowing, doesn't it? It's nice, though. Those workers get to live in the factory. They share. They get to have bunkmates. It sounds fun. Well, if they're lucky, they get sent to an internment camp in the middle of the country. Maybe in another lifetime, we'll get to come back. Wouldn't that be nice? Working in a sweatshop. Sweatshop. Yeah. Yeah. My mom actually worked in a sweatshop. I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, my mom's an immigrant, and when she was a kid, that was back
when we had good old American sweatshops
in the garment district in New York. The immigrants, they went to work. She was a kid, and that was, I'm sure the conditions were rough, but probably not. I mean, she didn't have to sleep there and stuff like that, but that was where the term sweatshop was probably first thought of, as far as we're concerned here in America.
Oh man, I'm yawning.
Yeah,
in this comfy chair.
And now look at me, business owner,
working in a sweatshop of your own.
Yeah, that's right. Got my own sweatshop.
Oh Lord,
that's not true. We have air conditioning.
We better move on to the next one before we say something offensive.
Yeah, too late. Am I not exonerated by being related to somebody who sweated in the shop?
Definitely not.
Okay. Go ahead, read it.
No, this is you. I read the last three.
Oh, okay.
Or four.
So, this is from Low Country Modern, one of our patrons. If you guys weren't woodworkers, what would you do? Cheers. I like that. P.S. Your live stream was awesome. Thank you, Low Country.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to tell us your real name, damn it. Or if you're a collective, give us a couple names.
Yeah.
Thank you for the live stream. It was, another learning experience.
Yeah,
we'll be, running an Ethernet cable from the ceiling down to my computer here.
Yeah, we're going to try it.
Yeah, so the next one should hopefully, maybe the quality will be a little bit better because we have pretty fast internet here. We'll be hardwired in, but looking for. If
what
we
would
weren't
you doing?
I'd still be working in a restaurant.
Yeah, I'd probably be a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I was a teacher before I did this. Good old Canarsie High School.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in and haven't caught, because we gave our sort of backstories.
Oh yeah,
call them, but
a long time ago.
I worked in restaurants for 10 years before I only picked up a hammer in 2012.
And that's 10 years is a long time. You're only just turned 32, right?
Yeah, and I didn't even get into like any type of cabinet building until 2018.
Yeah.
I built cabinets on site as a finish carpenter, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah, in a shop, it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I taught history at the Canarsie High School.
Mm-hmm. Your alma mater.
Yeah, Canarsie's no more.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they shut the school down.
Now it's like a beard oil emporium. Flannel shirts and beard oil. That's what they sell. No, it's a store now.
Canarsie has not been gentrified yet. I don't know. I haven't been back to Brooklyn in a while, but my old neighborhood it's hipster town.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, hipsters are there with
yeah.
beard oil.
Yeah,
and flannel shirts.
But
some of them are probably claiming to be woodworkers. Going back to Connor's question, they're taking their found items on the streets of New York.
Yeah. Did you ever see the movie Hello, My Name is Doris with Sally Field?
No, that does not sound like something I watch.
Yeah, it was actually a good movie. She plays like this, it's somewhat current movie. So she's playing her age, which is probably 70 or something like that, maybe late 60s. And she's kind of like this idiosyncratic woman. And she finds herself in this job with all these hipsters in Brooklyn. And they all think she's cool because she's, so odd.
Yeah.
And, they're putting on all these airs. And it really kind of takes the wind out of the sails of all that stuff because they go, oh, yeah, I make these individual chocolates with sea salt from Madagascar, so they make fun of all that.
Yeah.
And
it's
she's
like a Portlandia skit.
Exactly.
Knots. Like Jeff Goldblum owns that store where it's just a bunch of knots.
Yes.
Or like doilies.
but it's actually a movie worth watching, especially if you want to watch it with the group, you could, because there's something in it for everybody.
Yeah.
So I'd be teaching, or maybe I would have been in Brooklyn. They had this thing called the Rubber Room.
Yeah, we talked about that.
I might be in the Rubber Room.
Yeah.
That was where if you did something wrong, but the union protected you from getting fired.
Like, yeah, this guy's trouble. He's telling the kids the truth.
That's right. Oh yeah, I routinely got called into the office for stuff, but
it's only fair. You got to push the boundaries as a teacher.
Yeah, it's not something that I still have friends and family teaching. It's not something that I would go into now. The rigidity of it is just insane, and it seems that the kids' learning is going lower and lower as far as the bar.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's what we'd be doing. You want me to read the next one? Try to catch up?
No, I got it.
All right.
Got another one here from C.T. Vader in 1977. How long do you typically sand a piece for?
About 20 minutes. You knew that was coming.
One guy, 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Yeah. Well, for the most part, we like to go to 220, with our oil finishes.
Yeah. Or 150 if you're not following along.
Yeah. The Rubio calls for a little bit coarser, but we kind of get better results for our own purposes going a little bit finer.
Yeah. We sand it until it's done.
Yeah.
That's kind of that's the answer.
I remember a story that Lou told me when he was starting out. The old guy teaching him
I know this one.
said, go over there and sand those pieces. And Lou says, well, how long? And the old guy tells him, till you start to smell garlic.
Yeah, until they smell like garlic.
Of course, that never happens.
Right.
But I was surprised when I heard that people didn't sand to 220 or, at least 180.
Talking about our ex-partner?
That, yeah. And just in general, the people I ran into, I guess I didn't know that paint worked better with a little bit coarser.
What about the over sanders? Because there's plenty of those too.
Well, you mean the people want to polish it up to 1,000?
Like 1,000.
Yeah, I don't think there's much benefit to it.
No, even with an oil finish. Because once you buff. Yeah. You'll get more clarity out of the grain, I think, the higher you go. But there's definitely a law of not diminishing returns, but at some point it stops doing anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any
wood
better.
Can only get so fine.
You could polish it, but then once the finish goes on, it's going to kind of revert back to some sort of, let's say you sand it to 2,000 and you put finish on. Well, it might look the same as sanding to 600.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know these exacts. I'm sure it varies by species and stuff too. That's the thing. It depends on the piece, the species, the finish.
Yeah, we're not really making polished museum pieces.
No, it's just not really.
We're making furniture for
the aesthetic
people.
That we go for.
There's maker's marks on our stuff and things like that.
Yeah, you still got my feet on the table here.
Yeah. So, I hope that answers C.T. Vader's question. I think you got it there. What's the next investment for the business? This Speak of the Devil comes from Lou at Alvarez Woodwork.
Yeah. I don't know.
Forklift.
No forklift yet. We had to be moving in a lot of wood to justify a forklift.
Yeah, I think it's going to be small. We did a couple of big purchases.
Yeah, that worked out great for us. Worked out great.
No risk it, no biscuit.
Yeah, I wish I could have the last couple months of my life back. Yeah, I don't know. We're set up pretty damn good.
I mean, we talk about like, and this would probably be another tool that we'd only use maybe once or twice a year. But we were thinking about getting one of those little portable edge banders.
Yeah.
But when would we use it? Like, you know,
we have an edge banded. I mean, it's like a kitchen thing,
right? That's what it's for. Like we like to put a nice thick, solid edge on the shelves, but it's great for the other three sides of a shelf using solid wood edge banding. It's a nice thing.
Yeah, I mean, those machines will run a pretty thick edge too. A lot of them.
You know, then there's the hole boring attachment for the what do you call that machine? The hinge boring machine.
Yeah, I'd say like some shaper tooling is something we'll probably get into. You know, some door profiles and stuff, but nothing big. I don't think for the time being. Not unless we get a job that maybe like a vacuum bag, maybe something like that. But it all depends on what comes through the door.
I think I agree with that. It's like with the shaper. I mean, it's one of those tools. You think about it. Oh, we need a shaper. Here comes a job.
Yeah.
So
get a shaper.
Yeah, there you go. Are we on to page 2?
Yeah.
I think this one's all you.
This is a longer one. Came in from one of our patrons, David Shoemaker. He said,
got his name right.
I know. He said to edit it, but I didn't edit it. You got it. You wrote it out nice and nice and well for us, David. I agree with you that today's consumer has been trained to undervalue craftsmanship due to the plethora of cheap, mass-produced furniture, cabinets, etc. However, if the masses put an appropriate value on custom woodwork, the average family still wouldn't be able to afford your work. 2019 median family income was about $70,000. So here's my question. If Greene Street Joinery made a line of furniture for the average family, what would it look like? Let's take a kitchen table. What would it be made of? How would it be finished? What type of joinery would be used? And how much would it cost?
Wow. I would say my first impulse for what would it be made of is cherry or maple.
I'll throw ash in there as well to just give a different grain.
Yeah.
Those are three very similarly priced species.
We can get those materials pretty cheap.
And in, reasonable thicknesses.
Right.
Which is important for a table.
Why don't you take the next...
what would it look like? Well, it had to be simple, which is sort of our style anyway.
Repeatability, probably, right?
Yeah, it would have to be something that, could be, constructed quickly and easily. So no through.
You know why I'm laughing? Because we would design something that fit this criteria, and we'd get building that first table, and you'd go, man, it would look nice.
Yeah.
We put like a wedge 10 in here.
Yeah.
This would really set this up. We'd have to have some discipline if we did it.
Yeah.
That would be number one.
And it would have to be a sort of breakdown kind of thing, because that's an added layer of accessibility, is being able to have it shipped to your home.
That's right.
How would it be finished? Well, oil finish, to get a good oil finish for a table, a dining table takes time.
Yeah.
Because,
got to build that up.
Yeah. You're talking 6 coats or more, really, if you want it to be durable. And if you're going to sell something to people, under this guise of affordability and convenience, it needs to be something that doesn't need to be maintained.
Yeah, because people are going to use anything from a sponge with dish soap on it to clean it to lemon pledge.
Yep. or worse. Those are pretty mild.
Yeah. So we might have to go outside of our normal comfort zones for finishing.
Yeah, it would have to be a sprayed finish. Joinery, domino connectors, something like that, I think.
Yeah. Not a lot of fancy cuts.
No.
A lot of straight lines.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of the domino. What do you think of base style? What would you go with? Legs, trestle?
It had to be 4 legs.
With an apron.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably the not even probably, that's by far the easiest, fastest.
Yeah.
Because we could make those parts and they could be all just sitting around.
Yeah. I mean, trestle, you get into the weight and the size and gluing up stock into the right sizes and milling it back down, and that's a whole another thing.
Simple 4 legs, apron, and some corner braces, and you're good to go.
Yep. But, I don't think we really have any desire to do that.
I mean, what could we bring? I don't even want to say the pun. What could we bring to this situation if we're limiting ourselves to a top with 4 legs and an apron? That's going to... Why would somebody want a table from us if that's all there is?
Right.
Because you can't compete with...
Go to the Amish or somebody like that, who make, real wood furniture, but they don't get it twisted. The Amish use pocket holes, and they do things.
They're using machinery.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all full machine shop.
Mm-hmm.
But they got their kids doing the simpler tasks, and as you get older, you're moving on. So it's a way of life, and the overhead's lower. I don't think it's possible that we could bring anything to bear that would make what we do attractive enough for somebody to opt for. I mean, we would have the top would be all there is, this really beautiful grain matched top.
What the fuck that is?
Sounds like a jackhammer almost.
Anyway. Yeah, I don't think it's possible, or I really don't have any desire to do that. It kind of goes against everything that we...
Mm-hmm. Without the inventive design and the distinctiveness, we don't really have much to offer somebody in that price range, like the introductory price range.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing better than you could find for the same price.
Exactly.
It'll just be a solid wood table at that point. That's the only. It's just solid versus you might find something that's a plywood top or something with solid edges.
When we went out to Pennsylvania, we went into this Amish shop. They had this 6 chairs and a dining table, solid wood, walnut base, walnut frames on the chairs with spalted maple, spindle backs. I mean, it was beautifully done.
Yeah,
$2,500 for the whole set.
Yeah,
I was joking with Jeff. I said, 1 chair is $2,500 from us.
Yeah, it'd be 25,000, maybe more for us to build that. Probably more.
And they probably make that set in their sleep.
Yeah, but that's it's a mass-produced thing.
Yeah, but he's right. We're a niche company. That's it. We bring people's thoughts and ideas to life. Somebody comes to us and says, "Yeah, I really want something that's all my own, that fits here in my house, and it does X, Y, and Z," and that's our specialty.
Right. So yeah, I mean, we're not marketing towards the masses or the median family.
We can't compete in that arena.
And yeah, you're gonna have to lift mountains to try and get the average person to sort of appreciate what we do. They're too busy trying to pay the bills like we are.
That's it.
Yeah. So
We don't charge a lot because we want to.
It's just what it costs.
That's exactly. We're like 1620 pants.
Mm-hmm.
This is how much it costs to make
Right.
stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
You want it? This is how much it costs. We're not rich.
No, not even close.
I'm starting to shop for a new truck. I can't even really afford it. So that's that. I think this is the end of our first show here. We're going to talk about the beer of the week.
Yeah,
I'm still sipping on mine.
it was okay.
I like it.
Yeah, it was all right. Nothing special. A letdown for me from McKellar.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
It's definitely different from the other IPAs that we've had.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't.
We got a visitor in the studio?
No, we better not. Don't even invite anybody. Yeah, I don't know. I expected more from McKellar.
All right. Well, since I had no expectations, I guess that's the way to go into these things.
Well, I'm familiar with McKellar, so that's a distinction.
Yeah, I had the bar set kind of low. What did we have last week?
The Kitsune.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
How would you stack it up against that?
That was way better than this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one day we're going to have like a flight, and bring on like a best of kind of thing. We'll have to go back and do some research and get 4 or 5 of our favorites and taste them side by side.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Come on, we could do it.
Yeah, okay, you handle it.
I can handle it. I'd probably need just from you the names.
You're going to have to go back to all the episodes and figure that out.
All right. My memory.
Because I don't have, you think I have a list? No, I have to do exactly that.
You be careful. I'm going to put that Kona longboard in
34 episodes. You're going to have to go back.
And then we're going to do a blind taste test.
Oh, that's going to be easy with 2 people and nobody that's not blind.
Well, it'll just be, there'll be no names on anything, and we'll have to pick.
Who's going to pour them?
Oh, yeah. Wasn't thinking ahead, was I?
You don't want to drink 4 beers anyway.
No, I can't. They would be like the little glasses like they give you at the flights, you know.
We'd have to pour out the other half of the beer.
Yeah. It would be kind of wasteful.
Yeah, I knew a guy that used to drink a lot of beer. We could have him come drink the half-empty ones.
He's not into this kind of beer.
That's true. He goes to old man bars.
Yeah.
Schlitz. Coors
Pabst.
Light. Tap only.
Does Pabst make a light beer?
I think it's already light. Well, I got to go to the bathroom.
So does that mean it's time to go?
That is. We're going to say thank you to the gold tier patrons, Jerry Greene and David Murphy, Manny Sirianni, Dustin Fair, Adam Pothast, David Shoemaker, and Colin Lai.
All right.
We'll have the tool of the week down in the description, the beer, and
Cheers.
yeah. Cheers.